Organizers of the Gay Pride Parade in Conway didn't let a ton of manure left in their yard overnight by some unknown protesters stop their parade. They say the act actually empowered them.
Although they were trying to make a very ugly statement, all they've succeeded in doing is enticing good, kind people to stand up and say, you know, leave them alone. They're good people.
Once the parade led by John Shank and Robert Lloyd took to the streets of Conway, they were met by protesters holding signs, quoting scriptures, and telling them their lifestyle is wrong in God's eyes.
We love you too. We love you enough to tell you the truth. That if you don't change your ways, you will perish.
And many were overcome with emotion.
I'm emotional because they're mocking my God. You know, my God created the institution of marriage to be between one man and one woman, and they're just making fun of it.
Still, Lloyd and Shank believe what they did here today will open people's eyes and hearts to tolerance and change.
I was so excited that this little town in Arkansas would attempt something like that.
It was just sort of typical southern small town. As long as you don't talk about it, it's all right.
I mean, I got beat up in high school, I got spit on, my car got vandalized, I got name called. John and Bobby, they changed everything. When they started doing the parades and painted the house, like it was no longer something that people just spoke about behind closed doors. It was in your face. It was on the corner of Center and Robinson, big pink house with a big rainbow flag.
Between like 2000 and 2008, it's insane how much it changed. People didn't have to be afraid as much anymore because of Conway Pride and because of John and Bobby and what they were doing in this city. Why should I have to be afraid on my college campus when we have a pride parade every summer here in my town?
They've got letters before, they've got drawings. You know, it's like they're superstars and they get fan mail.
The main thing is that if someone had trouble, they knew they could go knock on the door of the Pink House and that someone would be there to open the door and help them.
They opened their doors to a lot of people that needed it. I was just fortunate as well to be one of them people.
In addition to the 3 children that they adopted, they fostered hundreds of other youth, particularly, who didn't feel like they had a place in this world, and John and Robert assured them that they did.
First off, thank you for agreeing to be in this.
Oh, absolutely.
And
you know, anytime we can do anything to help, I'm determined to make it a better world before I'm done.
For our kids.
Because I saw it being a suck-ass world that I didn't like very much. We've always taken care of kids. I mean, our first 16-year-old was in 1979.
Yeah,
Rick, right?
I've got the honor of being the only openly gay man in the state of Arkansas. Twice has gotten guardianship of teenagers.
Yeah.
Rebecca was the first one. She was 17. Mm-hmm. And then, Justin for a while. And then 2 years ago, I helped a 16-year-old out who was in a really bad situation with the folks. And, you know,
we've had kids
too.
staying here for a couple of days, a couple of weeks at a time, just because, well, one kid was sleeping under a house. Oh,
yeah.
You can't let that happen.
We've been here 29 years, 27 years?
86.
27 years.
For the first 20 years, I never went out on the porch. We had benches out here under the grove of trees. I never sat out in it. My mailbox is 2 feet from the door. I would wait till there was no cars. I would grab my mail, come back inside.
And the house has been shot at 5 times?
I refuse. I've got 3 bullet holes that I did not fix. I refuse to fix them.
when was this?
The last
right
3 years
after
ago.
we started, up until the last time we were shot at was what, 3 years ago?
But I didn't fix those because I know if I fix them, I'll get shot at again. When people ask me, why don't you move? It's like, because I don't have to. And if you don't like me, why don't you move? Then they think, let me think, because I like it here and I'm good here. And I don't have that same right?
Yeah, and I'd like to think that because of all the crap Robert and I have been through in the last 9 years with the community in Arkansas, we've really helped it come along.
I know we're behind, but we're trying. As long as there are tough mothers like us around, We will eventually win. We may be the last state to win, but pay attention to the rest of the country. We're coming up there. We're going to be side by side with you in a society that accepts everybody. And my only wish is to live to see it.
Yeah, same here. That's all. That's why we do it.
John and Robert made Conway, of all places, a city that is much more open than most other cities of this size in the South that you would find. Now, there are still people who cannot come out and whose families cannot accept them. And that's one of the things that worried me first about John's passing, is what would happen to the Pink House.
These prides that happen, Conway Pride, Little Rock Pride, I think they're great for the community, because for folks who come down from smaller communities, you know, sometimes pride is the only LGBT thing that they can actually do in real life.
The first time I saw two men holding hands in public, it was like seeing a unicorn. I don't know. I had to like sort of slam on my brakes, and it was just like, I wanted to take a picture. I know it's just like, oh, look, it's Bigfoot. You know, it was very strange, but it was also especially sweet. Like I was like broke down and cried.
Conway Pride is a time when two, 15-year-old boys from Damascus, Arkansas can come and hold hands and feel okay, even though it may just be 15 miles from their house.
In the will, technically everything's left to myself. There are a couple ideas. The idea that we're going with is that we were going to turn the house into an LGBT rights museum, starting a little bit before Stonewall in 1969 to present day. So the inheritance money will help us. We have to level the house, get the roof fixed.
It was never a walking away situation ever. Most of this was already in the works before John and Bobby passed away. They wanted something done, and they wanted a legacy, and they've left it, and we're just building on it.
That's my purpose, is to carry on what they've done for us, and I can't walk away. Becca can't walk. We can't walk away from this. It's our family. It's our history. We were here for this, and we were going to see it carry on, regardless of what happens.
I'll come in here and sit down, and out of nowhere, the smell of the room, of what they smelled like, comes back. Then I'll remember how the room used to be. I'll miss the memories we had in here. But now that it's a different color, I'll make new memories.
Me and John and Bobby, we all met at Toad Suck. I was goth and scary in high school. Yeah, I met them at a Toad Suck, and they had two rainbow umbrellas, and they were holding hands. They were just prancing down the street. And we went up to them, and they got really scared. They kind of were like taken back. We were just talking to them, asking about them, and they told us about Pink House.
I was living on Faulkner Street with my sister, and I had gone through this road, I don't know how many times, back and forth from Conway High. That's where I was going for high school. And they were actually outside at one point, just messing around, something in the garden, because they like messing in the garden. And I just thought it would be neat to meet them and tell them how much I really loved their house.
So they brought us over and showed us the Pink House, and we became good friends, and we started hanging out more, and then they just started helping me with, you know, coming out in Conway, which was difficult, especially in high school.
A lot of this stuff is still in probate, so we haven't been able to get any money to help with it. So it's been me and Justin mainly with the bills around Conway, or the house and Conway Pride. He's been dealing more with the house, and I've been dealing with more the Conway Pride stuff. I'm not one of those type of people who wait at the last minute. Unfortunately, a lot of people are.
Same thing with John and Bobby. They would always freak out. But John would always tell Bobby, like, everything was going to be fine. And it always was. So I'm telling Becca not to stress, and I'm trying not to stress either.
Justin is actually going to be our MC this year.
Those are my ruby slippers. Bobby has his own. I'm going to wear them until I get to the parade, and then I'm wearing those.
Oh, nice. Oh, my God.
These are a size 13 and women's, and of course my legs will be showing. I've never done drag before. I don't see how John and Bobby did it at all. I don't see how they kept up with everything, calling all these vendors and getting payment for stuff and licenses from the county and all this other stuff that you gotta do. But luckily, all that has been set in motion for us. So all we have to do is just pick it up and carry it, which is hard too, so.
They turned out perfect. Next year won't be different. It's just our first year of really doing it ourselves, and may not get where we want to be for another 50 years, but at least as long as we keep on making a little bit of progress every year, every month, every day, every second, that's what counts.
I'm not keeping this house. You want it, you can have it. I'm not doing it anymore.
You have a check that's supposed to be 15, and then after it's 20 technically.
They're canceling the check.
Don't fucking do that.
Do you want to take care of all this?
It's not just about the money and time and effort, It's about who's really putting their effort into making this their home too. It's not just because we're living here doesn't mean that it's just our house. God knows that Justin pulled me out of my dark times a few months ago. I was in the same place he's in right now. Irritated, mad, frustrated as for Jesus. We're not gonna give up. God knows I'm gonna fucking push him to the limit. I'll fucking hit him upside the head if I have to.
My name is Zach Stone. I'm transgender. I was born female, and I'm a male, so FTM basically. And I'm also deaf. I'm completely deaf. When I go to Pride Parades in Conway here, I really love looking at the house. It's just so pretty and it's so colorful, and meeting great people that I met. And if there's no pink house exist here, you don't talk to anybody. You're just bottled up. And you just don't know who you really are about it because you don't know how to reach out to people.
I had a breakdown a week ago, and I couldn't take anymore, and I really felt like I let John and Bobby down, and the stress of the house and the money and pride and
just on paint, I maxed out my card to get the amount of paint just to get started.
We're running on fumes right now as far as money goes.
I've always seen it. It's like there's no in between. There's no trying. You either do or you don't.
Yeah.
And they're the same way. They encourage us to get out there in the spotlight, to be more of a voice for the LGBT community.
We just want to make sure that everyone knows that who these guys were, who our fathers were, and what we're going to continue to do. And Pride this year is basically celebrating the lives that they live.
We want it to be bigger and better, but just making the connection and reaching out to the community and the community reaching out back to us.
I hate moment of silence. I think it's the most depressing thing that you can do. I mean, I get why people do it, but for John and Bobby, instead of a moment of silence, we want to have one full, solid minute of people stomping and clapping, screaming, noisemakers, whatever, as loud as you can. I want to feel the ground shaking, so that's what we're going to do this year. John and Bobby made it to where we could walk out in the front yard and work in a yard with 2 big rainbow flags on it and it being a Victorian pink house without feeling like someone was going to come up and do something horrible to you or drive by and say something horrible to you. But because John and Bobby dealt with that, you know, whenever they started this, and I don't want any of the kids in Conway to feel that way. And if we have to, we'll get in faces as well.
All of this was all for them in the first place. I know they always said it was for the kids, but hell, now it's us kids trying to dedicate it to them. Hello.
Everyone's texting me, messaging me on Facebook. It's like, is Pride still going on? I'm like, yep, rain or shine, unless it starts lightning. But I don't like no lightning, so I'll be the first queen to be in the house.
Nicholas Rankin, 22, the son of John and Bobby. My sisters Rebecca and Justin. The 3 of us are siblings. I was adopted when I was 16, and I'm 22 now, so.
Oh wait, I missed the money shot. I was in on the heels. First you make Red cook breakfast for everybody, and then you make her do your makeup. What's going on here?
She's my personal help.
Yep.
Looking good.
Keeps me going. Smack around every now and then when I need it.
I feel sunlight.
We're in the middle of the Bible Belt, and it's difficult. It's hard being a homosexual in Faulkner County, Arkansas. It just is. I look forward to this every year because we get to come together as a family, and it's about as home as it gets. It's about as home as it gets.
These three are pretty amazing people, and they had some pretty amazing dads take care of them. So it's been pretty hard today. It's been pretty hard for a while, but we've had
had a really good day.
If we can do it in Conway, we can do it in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, states that you wouldn't dream.
It's not something that's taboo anymore. It's not something that people can turn a channel and turn it off. We are here and we will be treated equally, and they don't have to change to be a part of this place.
We're gonna do 1 full minute of standing ovation. I want you to stomp on the ground. I want you to clap your hands. I want you to yell. I want you to make as much noise as possible on the count of 3 for 1 full minute. Are you ready? All right. 1, 2,